Thank you all for coming and listening to my presentation. So while it's clear that COVID-19 has really revolutionized online learning in higher education, it's also highlighted some of the challenges associated with issues of equity and inclusion in relation to offering more flexible approaches to teaching and learning. The challenge, as I see it, is that community college students are enrolling in online courses and they are not performing as well as they might compared to in-person courses. Course characteristics, student demographics and academic readiness, course design quality, and teacher pedagogical and content knowledge or technological knowledge are all factors that potentially limit a student from succeeding in an online course. Today, I'm going to share with you some descriptive results of different ways that we can look at the performance gap here at CCC. And then I'm going to identify some root causes and symptoms of this problem. And then I'm going to break the problem down by mapping the challenge. And then I'm going to propose some solutions. So as you know, we're a small community college located in Flagstaff. We have a really diverse student population. We offer lots of different certificates and programs and courses in a variety of different modalities. And over the pandemic, we added that remote video conference modality. In the fall of 2021, roughly 20% of the courses were offered in a fully online asynchronous format. And if we look back 10 years, that's an 84% increase in online instruction. And this isn't surprising because online instruction remains critical for successful long-term strategies in higher education. Even though with its mission critical status, though, research continues to show that online instruction has a negative effect on student performance compared to face-to-face instruction, particularly in the community college setting. A large, very large longitudinal study of all California's community colleges found that students tend to complete online courses at a lower rate, 79 compared to 85% lower, and than traditional courses, and they're less likely to pass, 60.4% compared to 70.6%. And when the authors controlled for demographic and academic preparedness variables, student characteristics, term, college, and subject area, the gap became even larger at an average of 11 percentage points. CCC hasn't escaped this trend. As you can see, we too have a performance gap. Students who take face-to-face courses tend to perform better than those who take online courses. While this graph doesn't control for all the confounding variables, I suspect once I control for them, a gap will still exist. So there's many different ways to look at the performance gap. Most of the quantitative research using large data sets from the community college setting has found that online instruction has a negative impact on all student course performance, with differences in success based on age, gender, academic level, and Pell eligibility. For example, younger, male, Black, and less academically prepared students tend to have the widest performance gap between online and face-to-face courses. Alternatively, female sophomores, and non-traditional age students are more likely to perform better than males, first-year, and traditional age student counterparts. To add to this disparity, students are also more likely to withdraw from online courses compared to hybrid or face-to-face courses. That said, the research does suggest that if a student does take an online course, they're more likely to graduate at higher rates than someone who's never taken an online course. So the short-term outcomes aren't very good, but the long-term outcomes are much better. So these large data set studies really kind of paint a pretty grim picture of student success in online instruction. CCC follows a similar trend, although full-time Pell eligible older African-American and male students have a tendency to not do as well in their online courses. And again, these differences are pretty slight, but there are differences, needless to say, and they are all there are differences across all the different categories. Interestingly, at CCC, our Native American and Hispanic students have a much smaller performance gap, and they generally perform better than our white students, but again, 1 percentage point Fascinating that our Asian students perform a great deal better online than they do in person, and that sample size is 115 students, if you're curious. Looking at the performance gap by subject area, students taking SBS, STEM, languages, general education, business, and fitness classes were the least successful in online courses, whereas students in the health sciences, art and music, CT, and education are performing close to or better than courses in person. And when we look at the large data set studies from California community colleges, they found that students in STEM and health sciences courses tend to be more academically prepared. And as a result, they tend to do better in their online courses compared to students in the social sciences and the general education courses. Another way to, again, remind you that this is a descriptive study, look at the gap is by examining course success rates by course duration. Again, not controlling for instructor, student, and course characteristics, students tend to perform better than the overall 5-year average in online courses when they're 5-week, 10-week, and 8-week summer courses. While students could be more academically prepared, these results support the research that suggests students tend to perform better in accelerated courses because they can better focus, manage their time, retain the information, and stay motivated, which improves their chances to be successful. Another way to descriptively examine the gap is to look at course success rates by course level. Students who take 200 level courses tend to perform better than developmental and first-year students. This finding also agrees with the research that suggests that students who are more academically prepared and who have more experience taking online courses tend to perform better than those students who are new to college or online college instruction. We could also look at instructor characteristics, like how many years experience they have teaching online. With an understanding that online instruction is here to stay, many academic leaders recognize the need to close this performance gap, which will ultimately lead to improved student retention, graduation, and transfer rates. Considering the nature of this challenge, it's clear that this is a wicked problem. So wicked problems are problems in the social sciences that are hard to describe, difficult to solve, with a right or wrong answer, and often so complex, it's often difficult to find a solution or a resolution. So by using a systems approach, I'm going to attempt to map out the elements and their interconnections, and then the map will give us a way to talk about the complexity of this performance gap, help us to make better and more informed decisions, and help us to really get at the root causes of this problem. So in this diagram, I've identified some of the root causes and resulting symptoms of this wicked problem. Root causes include an ever-increasing digital divide and decreased state funding and community college support for the community college system, which results in understaffing of full-time faculty, an increase in tuition, and a general increase in enrollment. The system is fed with inequities that originate early in our students' K-12 academic careers. These root causes manifest themselves through a variety of symptoms, such as students lacking the necessary technology and academic preparedness to succeed in online courses. In addition, increased tuition and cost of living increases often require students to work full-time. Working full-time coupled with childcare and family responsibilities makes it difficult for students to prioritize their education over basic needs. Furthermore, community college instructors, when trained to teach, are typically trained to teach in person or in a face-to-face learning environment, so they lack the knowledge that they need to design and teach effectively in the online environment. And finally, decreased funding results in a focus on boosting enrollment, so many classes are offered in the online environment, assuming that all students have the potential to succeed. These symptoms often coexist with low quality or inappropriate courses where students are not motivated or engaged to succeed, therefore they may drop or not pass the course. Using a systems approach, we are not only able to identify the root causes and their inner symptoms, but we can reveal the underlying structures that allow us to fully engage with some of these solutions. Okay, this is overwhelming. I know. I'm going to break it down for you. But by mapping a course for change, we can begin to alleviate the gap between students' performance in online and face-to-face courses. While I recognize that there are many external factors that contribute to the outcome under this investigation, I chose to bound my system by our institution. Informed by current research, I did extend the boundaries beyond my sphere of influence with the intention to initiate change that could influence components beyond my control. Demarcating the boundaries at the scale of the college, I can more effectively explore the nature and complexity of the problem and imagine how transformation might occur. So let's break down the system into its constituent parts. To begin mapping the challenge, it's helpful to examine which policies and procedures govern online course quality. At CCC, the quality of online instruction is defined and enforced through our learning policy, online learning policy, and our online learning compliance procedure. And they work together to help the college to comply with the state authorization agreement, SARA, the Higher Learning Commission, Title IV, and the American Disabilities Act, which all direct the community college to create high quality online courses. But how do we know if our courses are considered high quality? And if not, how do we get them there? Currently, we recommend that instructors use the essential design standards to measure quality, but we've never validated their use with our unique student population. We don't even know if they really work. Taken together, these rules have exceptional leveraging power to fuel a change in the system. Ccc resources that can impact online course success primarily include human resources, such as the students, instructors, administrators, student support, and learning services staff. High quality courses, funding, and time are also key assets of the system. At the system's center is online student learning and success, which occurs when all the right conditions are in place for the student, course, and instructor. It almost seems like an epic hike across the Grand Canyon or something for students to pass courses online. While there are many variables that contribute to the effectiveness of online instruction, research suggests that online course design and particular instructional strategies may be more effective, specifically in the for the online at-risk student. It's no surprise that better prepared students with more college and online experience tend to perform better than academically underprepared students. Not so obvious is the fact that an intentionally designed online course that promotes active learning, supports holistic student development through online community building, and reduces the perception of transactional distance between the instructor and student can have a tremendous impact on student learning. And these system elements work together to produce effective online student learning. Focusing on the instructor's role, research has found that student success is predicated on the amount of technological pedagogical content knowledge, also called TPAC, that an instructor possesses and then puts into practice. Currently, the cultural norm is that instructors learn by themselves on their own time with some external support to attend professional conferences and on-site training, professional development, just-in-time learning, management system support, library services, and online course design consultations offered through the TCC. And while we've had a better than average attendance since the pandemic forced everyone online, most instructors don't have the time nor the incentive to seek TLC support. Furthermore, previous top-down administrative practices violated instructors' trust with former TLC staff. And currently we've strengthened that trust with instructors and periodically collaborate with them as they design and redesign their online courses. We also offer one-shot webinars and brief presentations at division meetings, and we might engage in a handful of instructors in collaborative learning circle. Yet to really actually make a difference, we need to find a better way to develop and connect with the instructors who need to develop their TPAC skills. A connection between the TLC and lead faculty and deans might help to bridge this disconnect. Currently, our middle leaders supervise the work of part-time and full-time instructors, respectively, to assess the quality of instruction and determine further employment status. 5 components, according to the procedure posted online, make up the faculty evaluation, including annual self-evaluation, peer review, classroom observation, supervision evaluation, and student evaluations. Lead faculty and deans who directly oversee these course evaluations are best positioned to provide the oversight for online course quality. I think if we could develop the administrative structure, this middle leader in administrative structure, to oversee online instruction, then supervisors could better support their online instructors and connect those faculty who need extra support with the teaching and learning center staff. To accompany these essential roles of instructor and students, student support service staff play a pivotal role in how well a student performs in the online course. For example, the new student orientation introduces the LMS and other student success strategies that provide a foundation for how to get started and manage their online learning experience. Research has shown that when students have a strong digital literacy and technological skills, like how to manage files, Google Drives, and how to create slides, search the internet, digital literacy, students tend to perform better in online courses. The new student orientation could provide the initial training on these topics, and then students could practice these new skills in first-year learning experiences. In addition, the ITS Help Desk complements these efforts by offering just-in-time technical support to ease any remaining technical hurdles that the student might have to overcome. And they also have that laptop program. As a result, both the new student orientation and ITS Help Desk play a significant part in student competency and readiness to learn online. Three other student support services that could potentially have an impact on student success include the Native American Student Center, the Career Services Program, and possibly currently non-existent Child Care Center. The new Native American Student Center could offer opportunities for our Indigenous students to have an increased sense of belonging, which research shows affects student success in a positive way and academic well-being. The Child Services or Career Services Center could help them get jobs. I found out we have like 6 internships going on right now, which is really cool, but we need to have a lot more. A childcare center could offer free childcare for students juggling family obligations, work, and school. And these 3 components of the systems assume that the centers offer high quality, free services that are taken advantage by our students who devote more time to their learning. The final component of the system entails the scheduling of courses. Due to the pandemic, we are currently in a state of chaos. According to Meadows, chaos is where everyone went wild online in an unpredictable and unreplicable manner. In 2 years, our enrollment dropped approximately 13%. The root causes of this other wicked problem have resulted in a focus on boosting enrollment. And really, that problem has been around for a while. So that we can keep our doors open. Yet research suggests that course characteristics also play a role in student success, such as course level, perceived difficulty, STEM status, and class size. So we need to conduct research which controls for student, instructor, and course characteristics to determine which courses are more appropriate for our students. The results will inform the course scheduling process, which should represent a balance between student enrollment needs, student success measures, and faculty preference and availability. By offering courses where we know students will have a better chance to succeed, we can help set students up for success. This may be one of our biggest challenges given our high turnover rate in part-time faculty, increased cost of living in Flagstaff, and general lack of community support for the college. Until we're in a more secure footing, this challenge might have to take a backseat to solving this wicked problem. So this last set of lines demarcates the complexity of the decision-making at CCC. The school has a very strong faculty governance structure that entails working through faculty senate committees in order to obtain buy-in. I'm on the Teaching and Learning Development Committee, and I'm on this online instruction committee. And I'm hoping that by presenting these results to you today, that we could maybe report back to the Faculty Senate with some recommendations to move forward. So as previously mentioned, there are 3 primary external forces that drive change toward improved online course quality. Title IV compliance, ADA compliance, and HLC accreditation. The fourth essential influence is the student experience. Countering these external forces are three primary forces resisting change: cultural norms, financial distress, and time and resources. First, instructors expect to have full control over their course design, only asking for help when they need it. That said, instructors are used to engaging in a course evaluation process with a supervisor or a mentor. Second, the college needs to increase enrollment to support all college functions. Online instruction tends to help boost enrollment, even if success rates are lower. And finally, CCC has limited full-time faculty and a high part-time faculty turnover rate. As a result, this leaves little time for faculty members to engage in any sort of collaborative instructional design process. That said, we cannot assume that our faculty do not create and deliver high-quality courses. Rather, we currently don't have a way to support their professional growth as online teaching practitioners. Solutions to this wicked problem need to consider both the forces of and resistance to making a change. I propose the following 8 areas for improvement. 1, validate our essential design standards. 2, update current online instruction policy and procedure. 3, develop an online course administrative structure. 4, incorporate and/or further develop critical reflection in the faculty evaluation process. 5, improve new faculty readiness to teach online. 6, improve student readiness to take online courses. 7, offer just-in-time resources for faculty that focus on best practices in online instruction. And 8, balance course scheduling processes with online course student performance. One of the first steps to ensuring online course quality is by validating those essential design standards and updating our policies. These documents can be used to clearly define the expectations. CCC needs to develop our administrative structure of lead faculty and deans so they have a systematic way to support online instructors using critical reflection, which will improve the quality of our online courses. Moreover, a systematic faculty evaluation process should continue to incentivize professional development. To improve new faculty readiness to teach online, supervisors should require new faculty to complete the Learning to Teach with Canvas self-paced course and work with an instructional designer when first creating or refreshing online courses for CCC delivery. To improve student readiness to take online courses, the first year experiences need to incorporate basic digital literacy skills, time management, and other student success strategies that benefit the online student. To provide personalized just-in-time support, the TLC needs to create a knowledge base with best practice materials so instructors can access what they need when they need it. And finally, schedulers need access to student success data so they can make informed decisions on when to schedule online instruction. Using this whole systems framework, the proposed solutions will help the college to meet the federal compliance requirements and student expectations to offer high-quality online courses while working within our current administrative structure for faculty and course evaluations. I spoke with and interviewed several different people throughout the semester to coalesce my thoughts. I really appreciate all your support, and I will continue to share my results with you. As a committee, do you think this is a good plan of action? What else am I missing? Thank you.